Hi, Charles here. Well, it's a bright day, and today I thought it would be a great time to do a follow-up to the ZeroBreeze Mark II portable air conditioner review that I did long ago in this Van Build series. Thanks for watching. Well, Susie and I took our time with this Van Build. It's a 2018 Ford Transit 250 148 wheelbase medium roof. And we were not in a rush, but it's now getting near the end of May, and we've already done one trip to Florida, and about 2.5 weeks we will be headed out to Denver for about a week and a half, and with more trips to come. Months ago, when I decided to do this Van Build, I reached out to a few companies that I had already done a review. I'm not a review guy on YouTube. I have done a few, especially some lithium batteries, but not too much else. So once I decided to do this Van Build, I don't know where I got the idea. I see people doing sponsored videos and all that kind of stuff, but I don't monetize. I don't do sponsored videos. But I did reach out and said, hey, would you like to be a corporate partner? I will feature you in my videos. I'll do Instagrams if you'll send this product or that product. And I'll show you a picture of the sticker on the back of my van. I have about a dozen or so that jumped in, and many of them in a really big way that I'm very appreciative of. And I'll be featuring them in future videos. But I reached out to ZeroBreeze about their Mark II portable air conditioner. And that's always a big thing. People want to know about the bathroom in your van conversion. They want to know, do you have a shower, and this and that. And they always ask about air conditioning and heat. And my wife and I are mainly fair weather campers. I mean, we will probably not do much of any really cold weather camping, and if we do, we'll make sure to have shore power, or I'll have my big Ecoflow Delta units really charged up so that I could run a small heater or electric blanket. So we'll be good there. But if we can, we try to avoid the super hot weather, but we're going to be in Utah end of August, so we will expect some hot temperatures out there, but it won't be as bad as July. Anyway, what some people do is they'll put an air conditioner on top, and they know right out of the gate that they will not be able to run that with batteries and a solar system. It's just not practical. You would have to have so much, it wouldn't work. And so you're going to have to use shore power to do that anyway. And so I reached out and said, hey, I think that your portable air conditioner, 2400 BTU, could work in this environment. So that's what this video is about. And I'm going to do a longer introduction here than I would normally do, but it's really important that you understand the capabilities. My comparison is what I've seen some people do with reviews on the Mark II and other products is they have unrealistic expectations. It's like if I buy a 6-foot ladder to work on my gutters here and I complain that it won't reach up 12 feet, well then that's my problem, isn't it? Or if I want to haul 4x8 sheets of plywood for a van conversion, but then I have a small little car that couldn't possibly carry it, That seems like that's a simple thing to say, but it really is important to understand what a product can do. And so the Mark II is a unique and not cheap portable air conditioner. And so I've seen in van conversions people putting a unit on top. I've even seen people, not very many, cut a hole in the back door and they build a structure and they put in a standard 5,000 BTU air conditioner. And that works. The Mark II cannot replace a 5,000 BTU air conditioner or a rooftop. Just can't do it. But in certain situations, they say from 24 to 50 square feet, it can bring the temperature down. Now, it all depends on the ambient temperature. It depends on the humidity. It depends on how cold you want it. I mean, we just were at a friend's house in Florida, and one of the couple, she likes it, her air conditioning down to 64. I mean, we would never do that. It's too cold for us, okay? So everyone's got, their preferences. So in this video, I'm going to show only how I'm using it or how we plan to use this with this Ford Transit. And the way we plan on using it is mainly if it's really hot and we want to cool it down at night for a few hours, and then the temperatures, even when it's really hot, typically do come down. There are situations where they don't, but if you're in Florida, Louisiana, or something like that, but I'm talking an average kind of situation, at least for us in the Midwest. And so what I'm doing today is, you can see I've got a window cover from Explorer Outfitters on the windshield. I've got the window cover on the passenger side as the sun is starting to bear down on it. It's now 10 after 9, and it's about 70, 71. Inside, I just checked, it's 75. And so when it gets to about 80 in there, I'm going to turn the ZeroBreeze on. I've sort of rigged up a way to run the exhaust out. It's not the way we're going to do it. My wife will make a custom thing out of some thin plywood or something. And so we'll put that in the window to get the exhaust out. And then we also have a room darkening curtain that I have in addition to keep the heat out, because it's a greenhouse in the front. So if you expect to have a car or a van and all the windows are open to the sun, and it's 90 or 95 or 100 or even 85, you know how much it can heat up a vehicle. And it's unrealistic to expect a 2400 BTU little air conditioner to be able to cool that down. So that's kind of the parameter. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn that on probably within a half an hour or so, and just see how it cools down. But the main way we're going to use it is if it's a really hot day and we come back from hiking somewhere in Utah, we'll come back. What I would do is set this all up like this, turn on the air conditioner, cool it down, and then turn on the ZeroBreeze for a few hours at the beginning of as we're sleeping. And then I would suspect one of us will wake up, have to go to the bathroom. We probably would turn it off because we have a max air fan and vents and all that. So that's the situation here. So if you can extrapolate what I do to your situation, fine. I always get people asking me to run this test, I mean very detailed, specific tests for their situation, and I just can't do that. It just gets ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I can't do that. So this is a very specific test for how this might work for you in a van. So I want to show you, this is not the perfect way to do it, but this is a piece of foam that came with the Mark II. They've got a thin one and a thick one. And so I've just sort of cut it and taped it here so it's bringing air in and sending the exhaust out. Trust me, my wife will make one that will be custom that will fit this perfectly. So this is just right now. Right now we are still doing some tweaking to the van. I'm doing some storage things on the top, and my wife is building the screens for the cargo sliding door and the rear door. So she just hasn't gotten to this yet. She's my woodworker. I let her handle that kind of stuff. So. Well, welcome to the inside of our van. It turned out beautifully. It's well insulated, so I know this is a long introduction, but it's important that you understand the situation that I'm doing this specific test in. Underneath the shiplap on the walls, it's mineral wool. Floor and ceiling, it's thick, rigid foam. Vapor barrier, taped, really well insulated. And we have bunk windows on the side that are tinted. The rear windows have the vinyl, perforated vinyl, the white, you see people have advertising on, or just so you can't see in. So that's going to help with solar, but it's not facing into the sun. I do not have a window here, but we do have a passive vent over there that heat can go out, and it just helps with condensation. Then I've got a max air fan here. I'm not going to run the fan during this test, but it is open, so some heated air can get out. And so right now it's 72 out there, and it's 6 degrees warmer in here already, even with this curtain and with the window cover, and the window cover on the passenger side. So this is a metal box, people, and it's going to heat up regardless. And so you know how dangerous a car can get. You don't leave your children or pets in a car because they can get 120, 130 degrees in there. So you're fighting that for sure. And so that's why, I've seen some people make comments on Facebook or on YouTube where they're in extreme situations and they think that a small 2400 BTU air conditioner like this is going to be able to fight 100-degree temperature, and they turned it on when it was 100 or more inside. And so it cannot do that. The vehicle AC could do it, but this is not the same thing. It's apples and oranges there. I'm not making excuses or apologizing. I'm just saying be reasonable in your expectations. And so it's 78 and a half. It'll soon be 80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on here shortly and just let it run. And so today it's supposed to get to 90. I've got it plugged into shore power. I could run it with my Ecoflow Delta units for a long time. My Ecoflow 1300 Delta, it ran a 5,000 BTU air conditioner in our little runaway mini camper, which is 6x8, and it ran for 7 hours. And it kept it cold, and it was really hot when I did that on the driveway. So I know good and well that with a lithium, whether I don't care what brand you've got, it could run this for quite a while. And it does have a battery, which I'm not going to use right now, and I'm not going to get into all the specifications. Check out their website. I'm showing you how it works or how well it may work in this situation. But the battery that comes with this that they did send can run roughly from 3 to 5.5 hours, all dependent on the temperature out there. Are you in the sun or do you have shade? And that's something else to think about. If we're at a rest area or in a campground, if at all possible, we're going to get this bad boy in as much shade as possible, and that will make an enormous difference on the greenhouse effect and heating up this metal box, because it's attracting heat, it's holding heat right now, of course. So I'll come back in a couple of minutes and get this going, and then I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna run the camera. I'll just come back and give reports periodically. So I'm back in the van. It's now 80. It's a lovely 72 out there, but I didn't want it to get too hot. I just wanted to, you know, imagine that it's this warm at a campsite or something. We are not going to run this while we're driving. We don't need it. We've got air conditioning here in the van that works great. So, you know, I'm trying to make it as a realistic thing as I can. This has this hose that you can put on the front, but I'm just going to have it shooting here. So I'm just going to turn it on. It says at the moment it says 75 degrees that it's sending out. What I'm going to do is turn the speed up. So I'm up to the top. So I've got it as cool as it's going to go, and it's immediately starting to drop. And so shortly here, this is daytime. How well can this combat the heat that is inevitably going to try to turn this into a toaster? So right now the temperature, it says it's 80, and I'll come back in about every hour or so and check it. So it's about 10 o'clock right now. What my wife and I would do is, right now it's sitting on our refrigerator, our ice cove, but I would probably have it up here so it's closer to us. The closer you are, the better. Oh, it's down to 63 already. It's not been very long. I did do two things. I decided to come back and close this because it's open, and yeah, maybe it might let warm air out, but I think it's going to let air in because the roof is heating up like crazy right now. I have a wood deck up there, but it still can generate a lot of heat. So I decided to close this, and then I did put a window cover on this bunk window because the sun was pouring through, and I thought about that while I was inside doing some editing. So obviously in a situation like this, you're doing everything you can to keep it the sun out and try to keep it cool in here. And right now it's comfortable in here. It just dropped another degree here, so I could take a nap in this and be fine. I handle the heat very well, and so does my wife. And most of the time we won't have this on. I'll just pull into a rest area, turn on the fan, open the windows. We've got vent things that we put in the front windows, and we'll be fine. But when it's really hot, this will be really handy. So I'll come back a little while and see how the temperature's going. So it's about 2 hours later. The ZeroBreeze is still putting out 60, 61 degree air, and you can definitely, right here, it feels great. And that's why I think it'll be wonderful when we have this pulled up here. The scenario I'm doing right now is not, I don't think it's something we would routinely do, because usually when we are out on a trip, during the day, we're not here. I mean, unless we just had an exhausting day, a few days and we needed to rest. If it's raining, it's probably not going to be as hot anyway. So, but I thought I would do this experiment just to give you some idea if you're in a parking lot and that kind of situation. We're using harvest hosts places on this trip. We already have used one. And typically in those situations, you don't have shore power, though some do offer it. So you might be in a parking lot. So this is sitting on a concrete driveway, direct sun. Right now, it's 80 out there, 80, 81. And trust me, the outside of this van is really cooking. And inside, it's 79. So it'll be interesting to see as this temperature goes up about, it's going to go up. I just now looked, now they're saying 88 to 90. I think we're always a little warmer where we are, but than what the temperature says on my app. But we'll see what's happening. But right now it's very comfortable in here. I mean, I would be real happy with this if it was sitting in a parking lot somewhere, and also I don't have to hear the noise outside, so I don't mind this. This is nice white noise for us. So I'll come back in another hour or two, and we'll see where we're at. So now it's noontime, and this has been running for what, I forget, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Temperature is steadily going up. It's about 83, 84 out there. It is, if you stand near the outside of this van, it's definitely putting out a lot of heat. I know that if I did not have this running right now, I'm guessing it would be like yesterday, it would probably at least 90, if not more. Right now it's showing that it's 82 in here. So at the moment it's holding its own. It's still quite comfortable in here. Some people would like it cooler, but I think if it was crazy hot outside, you would be more than happy with this, especially if you added to it a little USB fan blowing the air on you. So I'm going to let it go a bit longer. Probably check on it in about an hour and a half or two. That should be the highest temperature of the day. And we'll just see how it goes. There is no shade whatsoever on this van. So it's full sun, sitting on hot concrete. So I don't know what the actual temperature is out there. Maybe I'll take this outside and see what it is right outside the van. You know, you get false readings if it's sitting directly in the sun, but let me take this out and just kind of see where it's at out there. So we just went outside, brought my little thermometer. It also tells the humidity. It says it's 41% in here. And so I took it outside and I put my back to the sun, but stood kind of near the van, but it was never in direct sunlight. And it went from, it was what, 81 in here, and real quickly went to 87, 88 degrees with my back, but you know, like say that close to the van. So, and then I set it down on the running board, so it's picking up heat from the concrete and from the van, and real quickly went to the max and went to 99.9. So the outside of the van is over 100 degrees. If it's in shade, it's 87 or so, 88. I imagine if I took it in the garage is always cooler, but it's definitely warmer than the app. My app says that in Seymour it's like 82 right now, but it's definitely warmer around here for sure. And so brought it back in here, and it's right now, just now hit 81. It actually, what I did was maybe I turned it off, but I turned the strong button off where it has the highest cool and everything. So it's still holding its own against over 100 degree temperatures around the skin of this van. So again, I'll let it go for a little while longer. I think in a couple of hours clouds are going to move in, and then it's going to change the situation. But I think at least this gives you an idea of what it can do in this area. If you have a van just like mine, with the insulation covering certain windows and then running it out, even though it's not sealed, I think it's a fair experiment. And then so I don't think I'm going to bother with running it at night. I was thinking about doing that, but I know that once the sun goes down, it cools down, and I think after one more check, I think I'll call it on this video because it's been long enough. And I know I did a lot in the introduction, but you really have to have a fair understanding of what the Mark II from ZeroBreeze can do. It is limited. It's not the same as a big air conditioner, but in the right situation, it can definitely help. And I think in a van, especially if we had this moved up, you know, we could even hang another curtain here and make the area even smaller, and I think we'd be really good to go. As a matter of fact, that's kind of a good idea. Or to have a hook over here, put a curtain here, and I think it would make a huge difference, especially at night. And that's all we care about is if it's hot, cool it off, go to sleep, we'll be fine. Be back in a little bit to finish this. Well, I'm back one more time. It's about 80. It stayed about 83 degrees in here. Outside, the official temperature on my iPhone app is like 84, 85. It's like a parking lot. It's on concrete, full sun, no shade, and so this is sort of replicating what you might have at a rest area, or maybe you get to some place, a trailhead, and you just want to take a nap before or after. As I suggested earlier, if we did that, we would say if we are driving along, you know, I-70 in Kansas or something, we already have it cooled down. We would get the curtains all up, turn this on, and get a nap and be comfortable and then go on our way. And then at night, the same thing. If we had a busy day of hiking and then we come back, boy, it's still hot, and so we would open up the curtain, turn on the car, turn the air conditioning on full blast, cool it down, then quickly cover everything up, move the air conditioner up here. I like that idea. Put maybe another curtain here and cool off the area for the first few hours at night, and then the temperatures normally will drop and be comfortable for us, and all we'll need is our fans and windows open. So that's how I conceive us using this. I have not gotten into any details about how long a battery would last and all that, but I did tell you what my Delta did, so I think my 1300 watt Delta would run this for a long time, but we don't plan on running it for a super long time. But shore power we have a lot of the time anyway. So the other thing is, we're not going to leave this running when we're at a trailhead, because that's kind of a even if when my wife makes a wooden cover or something that holds it, it's still, somebody could just break it and get in the van. So there you go. Just a quick couple of a scenario and thoughts about the nighttime scenario that I know will work for us. And so this is not a cheap alternative. Some people still go with the roof one, and whether you do a roof one or this, you've got to have some decent power. And a roof one, you have to be on shore power or run a generator anyway. And this one you could get by with a big lithium, especially one like my Ecoflows that can recharge fast. But I envision mainly people using it when they have shore power, and I think that would work best. So there you have it. People have been asking about, I think the first video about the Mark II has over 23,000 views. It's one of my more popular videos right now. So I know people are looking at it, and it would be an investment. So, you know, I can't tell you how to spend your money. Just that's my advice, and go see what other people are saying about it as well. But it's a really solid, well made. For its intended purpose, I think this is going to work well for us. And thanks for watching.